Hey, welcome to the Drayway. I'm glad you're here. I'm Drayton Nay, your host. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It helps the algorithm. It helps me grow my channel, and I really appreciate it. We've got a great show for you today, so let's not mess around. Let's get started. Let's go. Hey, welcome to the Drayway. Yeah, let's talk about red and blue. It's been a while since we talked about red and blue, so let's go ahead and talk about it. Because it appears some red states are now thinking, maybe blue's not that bad after all. Yes, there are some red states that are now finding out what it is like to be a red state with Donald Trump as president, because the tariffs, especially in Canada, yeah, they're target specific. So whether you're talking about the EU, whether you're talking about Mexico, whether you're talking about Canada, they're not stupid. They're not trying to hurt all of America. They're trying to specifically go after red states. And red states are starting to find out, hey, wait a minute. This administration is not very kind to us. Duh. No kidding. Really? I don't think red states have really figured it out yet quite, but some of them are starting to now get the hint, because Canada is target specific on red states. Yeah, that liquor that you make in Tennessee, that liquor that you make in Kentucky, we don't want it. Yeah, you can keep it. And same thing in Mexico, same thing in the EU. They are going to be target specific on red states. And already it's not just them. I want you to understand, it's not just them targeting red states. It's the administration. Yeah, the administration is actually targeting red states as well, because a lot of the government money that goes to, because you have to understand, blue states, whether you like this or not, blue states give money to the government, and government gives a lot of that money not back to the blue states, but to the red states. Yeah, red states are supported by blue states. Been that way for decades. So what is happening now? Well, Trump is shutting off that money to places like Alabama, Louisiana, yeah, Mississippi. Yeah, you're doing without. So what is it like to be a red state right now? You're starting to find out some of the red states are like, yeah, maybe being a blue state wouldn't be that bad after all. And yeah, it's not that bad after all. And I have a feeling in the next election, there are going to be some red states that greatly wish they hadn't gone red, because the punishment can be severe. And when I say severe, we're talking about loss of jobs, loss of people's homes, loss of everything that they have. That's the result of voting red. That's why you should absolutely, positively never do it. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're saying, but this is what I want you to understand. I can't find anyone to tell me, no one, and I've asked everyone, why do you vote Republican? Why would you do that? Why? I keep asking the same question over and over and over again. And some try to give me a ridiculous answer. Every once in a while, some will say, well, government spending. Stop it. Stop with the whole government spending nonsense. You know, Trump spent over $6 trillion in deficit spending when he was president last time. Yeah. You want to know who blows up the deficit all the time? Republicans. So don't give me the whole spending nonsense. And don't try to give me, well, I'm voting Republican because I'm fiscally responsible. Yeah, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. Because we all know what it really comes down to. In red states, you're voting red because you want to keep things white. Just say it. Because that's basically what it comes down to is, well, I'm voting Republican because those guys are mostly white and I'm white and, I'm going to vote with the white guys. That's basically what it's come down to. But as you're starting to find out, that's not their concern, is your whiteness. They don't care how white you are. That's why a lot of you in red states are suffering already. And you're going to continue to suffer because they don't care if you're white. They only care if you're rich. That's it. Rich is the only thing that matters. They can sell you on everything else. They can tell you, oh, guns are going to get taken away. Oh, you got to worry about the border. They can sell you on anything because the rich are going to give them money so they can scare you. You haven't figured out this whole scam yet? Yeah, it's just to scare you. Rich, the Republican politicians go, oh, you want tax cuts? Well, give us money and we'll scare people into voting for us, and then you can have your tax cuts. Because that's what's going on right now. They scared you. They told you to fear these illegals, and they told you to fear whatever. Be afraid of this, be afraid of that. They're going to take your guns, blah, blah, blah. And you went, oh, okay, I'm a Republican, and they're telling me they're going to do this to me, so I'm going to vote that way. And they had money to do it, money to convince you of that. And what are they going to do about, what are they doing about the border? They're not doing anything. They're not doing squat. They're just doing the same. There's been no new legislation. They haven't passed any bills. They haven't done any of that. They haven't, done anything to make it the system much, except for Donald Trump trying to come up with, if you give me $5 million, you can be a citizen. Yeah, that didn't go through the House. That didn't go through the Senate. That's not going to be a thing going forward. But yeah, you're starting to find out being a red state ain't all that, is it? Because it doesn't matter if you're in a red state. They're taking your jobs and taking your money, and oh well. So what is the benefit again of being a red state? Help me out here. What's the benefit? What do you get? Under this administration, you get nothing. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm glad you're here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You're at the Drayway here. We got more to talk about. Stay right there. Apparently, the White House is now, it's now used for auto sales. Yeah, Donald Trump had to pretend to buy a Tesla and promote a Tesla yesterday because nobody wants anything to do with that piece of crap. Yeah, because Teslas are crap. A perfect example is before I just came on, I was watching this Tesla go underwater, simply trying to put a boat into water. So somebody thought it would be a good idea. See, there's some people out there that think cyber trucks are actual trucks. They're glorified golf carts. In case you haven't figured it out yet, that's a $100,000 golf cart is exactly what it is, because it doesn't function like a truck whatsoever. It doesn't even really look like a truck, but it's just a big piece of aluminum. And tell me, when was the last time a great truck was made out of all aluminum? Because aluminum cans, they kind of bend and stretch and they can be twisted easily. I mean, that's what you want your truck made out of, the thin aluminum, because that's basically what cyber trucks are. And they have found the more you use the cyber truck to perform actual truck functions like towing, every time you use a cyber truck to tow, it gets weaker and weaker. Yeah. And it's just a matter of time before, bad things start to happen. But yeah, just because it's called a cyber truck doesn't mean you can actually use it as a truck. Yeah. They're glorified, I don't want to even get into it anymore. They're just glorified golf carts. That's all they are. And Tesla cars, they're piling up everywhere because people don't want them. People don't want them, especially when you see BYDs. Yeah, BYDs, China's coming out with cars that are much less expensive. have much, much more technology. It's not even close. And so Teslas are falling way behind. So yeah, innovation, not so much. Flexibility in use, yeah, not so much. Quality, no one ever will tell you that a Tesla is a highly made quality product. Yeah, that's not a thing. But yeah, I thought it was very interesting this morning. You know, here the president is pushing an automobile. The president is an auto salesperson yesterday. I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime, that a president would be selling cars at the White House. That's just, sorry, but that's really, really weird, you know. And to have notes and to pretend like you're buying a Tesla, and you know, like he said, he doesn't even drive. So I don't understand how everybody doesn't just look at that and be like, what are we doing? What are we doing? We have a market crashing, all right? Thousands and thousands of people losing their jobs for no good reason. And we're playing Mr. Car Salesman for the richest man in the world. Somebody tell me how any of this makes sense at all. Tell me in the comments how this makes sense. Because, you know, 1/3 of the president's time has been spent golfing. Another third of his time has been spent doing stupid stuff like this. And it's wearing really thin. And it's costing people jobs. It's costing people money. And it's throwing us in recession. Yeah. Thanks, Donald Trump. Thanks for the Trump recession. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't go anywhere. I have a final thought. Millions and millions of households are behind on their mortgage payment. And there's no getting around it. It is what it is. And it's because people are losing their jobs. People are tapped out. They just don't have any more money because things keep getting more and more expensive. And tariffs aren't helping. Tariffs are not helping anyone. And now people feel poorer than ever because now Donald Trump has crashed the stock market and trillions of dollars have been lost. So, yeah, that's what's going on in today's America. Today's America right now is Donald Trump slowly dismantling everything that has been built over decades. And this whole thing of, oh, he's just transitioning, he has no plan. There is no plan to make anything better. We have not discussed, Republicans have not discussed one thing making it better. Not one thing. They haven't said, we're going to make Medicare even better. We're going to make Medicaid even better. We're going to make Social Security even better. And this is how. None of that. All it's been is cut this, cut that, cut this, cut that. And all they're going to do is give that so-called money saved to rich people. That's it. Rich people are going to get it. And I want you to understand, and I've said something like this before, but I want to say it again. This is what it's like. I'm a multi-billionaire. And instead of dollars, it's food. I have food. And I have a mountain of food, 300 feet tall, 3 miles wide. I have an absolute ton of food behind me. You can't even see the top of it. It's so high. And it's 3 miles wide of just food. And there's people out there that are hungry. And does the government come to me and say, hey, you know, we have some things, we have some people we need to feed, and could you help us? And I know you give us a little bit of food every year, but can you start giving us a little bit more because you have so much of it? Can you just give us a little more so it helps everybody in the country? No. That's not what our government is doing, is it? Our government is going to the people with the mounds of food and saying, you know the food you give us so that we can feed the hungry? Yeah, we're going to cut it back so you don't have to give as much. You can give even less. Oh, I know you've got an absolute mountain of food and you got enough food to feed everybody, but we're going to make it so you have to give even less. That's exactly what's going on right now. How crazy is that? When you think of it that way, how crazy is that? Because I don't know about you, but if I had a 300-foot mountain of food, 3 miles wide and 300 feet high, do you think I would give a rat's you-know-what if the government came to me and said, hey, you give us a few 100 pounds of food every year, could you give us a few 100 more? Do you think I would care, considering I have all this food behind me? Just a thought. Let me know what you think. Thanks for joining me on the Drayway. Don't forget there's a new Drayway each and every day. I appreciate you being here. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.